Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about autopilot in rain and how is it driving, when you are in bad weather or not the best condition. It's a fun thing to do when you have autopilot, when you have a car that can do the things that this car can do. You have so many different ways of I guess questioning it and trying to figure out if it even works the way it's supposed to. One of the neat things about I guess you want to say autopilot in general is you have autopilot, and then for many of those who have navigate on autopilot more often than not will go off. It's due to the weather conditions, it's just gonna cut out, and it's tough to figure out. I don't know exactly why. I don't know if it has to do with the way that all the sensors are working, or the way the cameras are working, and what it is specifically. But regardless, you have a system that works. It still works like a charm. So today it just happens to be raining, and it's raining pretty decently. Lots of, it's coming down in some cases quite hard. It's in some cases coming down really hard. So when you have this scenario where you have a vehicle that you just put on, you say, listen, I want to go from here to there, and then the car just drives. It's a very interesting feeling, but this car handles it. Tesla did things where the navigate on autopilot will shut off, but the regular autopilot will still work like a charm, and it just does it. Coming here, on my way here, I noticed that it didn't matter if it was a little bit light, like a light rain. It didn't really matter if it was a heavy rain, and it didn't matter if I had lost a distance between cars, or the water, the water from the other cars just being blown right up at me. That really didn't even affect the car. So typically, one of the things I will say right now is that if you are on a highway, let's say, and it is a little bit not so good condition, you may want to increase your following distance. And it's something that most people, I notice, fail to do. And when you fail to do that, you fail to increase your distance, your vehicle will react a different way based on X amount of factors. Now, there was, for example, my drive up to this point, one thing I didn't notice is something I hear a lot of people talking about, and that is the phantom braking, especially in bad weather. I don't get the phantom braking. I don't know why specifically I don't get it. I have seen a lot of complaints about people getting phantom braking when it's raining, when it's quite bad weather. I haven't gotten it, so I can't really talk too much about it. But what I can talk about is the good things that it does do. And the lane changes works like a charm. It doesn't, it's not acting up in any way, shape, or form. But I think the big thing here is your following distance. So I'm driving around today, and like I said, on my way here, it was a great little drive. I'm just out on the highway. I'm down. I even drove through, for example, the city today. And as I'm driving through the city, I'm, or just outside of the city a little bit, I'm driving on regular street roads. I'm not even driving really on the highway, and the car can really beautifully deal with all this stuff, And I think the real important part here to take away from this is the things that Tesla has done to make this possible. I would love to see more companies do this. I would love to see, this technology really moving forward. There's a lot of people that miss out on this technology for no good reason, because Tesla's already shown that it works. And so get it out there to the rest of the public. I know whenever I have somebody in a car and I show them autopilot, or how autopilot works, it's amazing. People's reactions are like the first time when a child goes to Disneyland. People are mesmerized by it, and it's a shame because right now only Tesla owners have this, and only Tesla owners can really show people what these cars can do. Tesla itself, they don't really do anything to show off this technology. It's so amazing to me that I can take a gloomy, rainy day like today, getting this car, and I feel awesome. When I'm going through, especially when I'm going on a highway, I'm going from point A to point B, I can do that. I can get in the car and just tell the car where I want to go, let the car deal with all the craziness. I'll just keep an extra eye out, and that's about it. I am basically the co-pilot to the car. It's a nice feeling. It's a great feeling. You know, any other car I've ever driven on a highway, especially on bad weather, it's always a little bit more stressful. The car sees a lot more than I do, and more often than not, it will capture stuff a lot sooner than I will. There are plenty of videos out there with the car reacting to something long before the driver even knows what happened. That's what really Tesla Autopilot is. It really does an amazing job at all conditions, in all conditions. I've shown a few videos where I've taken this car out in really bad weather, and this was, you know, about a year ago, and I went up through the mountain passes, you know, in bad weather, fog, mist, that kind of stuff. Today, for example, I'm running a bunch of errands, I'm doing this, that, the other thing. I get on a highway, and it never stops amazing me. This car consistently just surprises me at how amazing it can be, how great it is at doing what it does. Tesla has pulled off a wonderful technology that just simply works. Is it perfect? No, absolutely it's not perfect, and it's never gonna be perfect. I don't care what most people say, it's never gonna be perfect. And the reason it's never gonna be perfect is because the conditions always change, the variables always change. I think it's gonna dramatically improve as time goes on. I don't think they get recognized for a lot of the things they do, and it's a bad thing. Instead of many people being happy for them, they're really trying to push them down. And I'll tell you, I absolutely adore Autopilot. I really do. There's a lot of things that I'm doing today, and frankly, knowing that I'm going to be on a highway today, and knowing that it's just an absolute crapshoot of a weather today, I probably would have stayed home and just worked on other projects. But the thing I noticed is that since I bought this car, I don't stay home. I just get in a car, I have a big smile on my face, and I just drive. It's amazing what this car can do, and it gives me the time to truly enjoy, even on a weather like this. See, the beautiful thing about rain is that it changes the perspective of what we're looking at. You know, everything you look at changes. There's a little bit of fog in certain areas. Your visibility is cut down, but at the same time, it's very artistic too. And so you have all these different ways of looking at, you know, the world around you. This car now, because of Autopilot, it allows you to enjoy the beautiful part that nature is, right? Part of nature is obviously rain. It's not always sunshine and lollipops, right? Sometimes it is bad weather, sometimes it is just rain, and we look at rain as bad weather, but in reality it's absolutely beautiful if you just take the time to look at it. As a ice car driver, you don't get a chance to just take a time and look at it, because you're driving and you have to pay attention to every little detail. When you're in a Tesla and you use Autopilot, you can take a little bit of pressure off yourself and not look at every little tiny detail. Instead, you can actually look at enjoying your well, little trip, your mini trip, if you want to say it. But yeah, you have a different perspective of the world around you when you're driving on Autopilot. And when it's raining, it's absolutely no fun out there. It just adds that much of a better experience. So yeah, that's what I gotta say today. Tell me what you guys think. All right, with that said, thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and we'll go from there. Drive safe.